Can God take your broken pieces and make something beautiful? Will and Dehavilland Ford share how God reshaped their lives using the fragments of their past to lead them to an amazing future. If you're enjoying Table Talk, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Remember to click that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest posts. Well, oftentimes in life, the road we're on is full of twists and turns and bumps. Yep, we know about that. And many times it can leave us feeling like we've ended up off the tracks and that somehow God can't use us. But the reality is that when you are trusting in the Lord and are surrendered to His plans for your life, nothing is impossible, and He will use you to touch lives. And no one knows this better than today's special guest. But before we get to that, joining me on the table is Kendra Kelly Dean.
Hey.
We all have a story.
We all have a story. It's our testimony. And just like you said, the devil wants to discredit us, right?
Yeah.
He wants to say, God can't use you. No one's going to understand. You're going to look like a fool. But God says, no, they're mine. And I have a plan and purpose, and I will use them in great ways. And I think they are going to love the couple we're going to introduce them to in a little bit.
Yeah, great story. Rachel Ann Brown, we love testimonies here at the table.
You can't argue with what someone's been through.
That's right.
And I feel like today's couples got two amazing stories, and together, such a powerful testimony that's going to really bless our viewers.
Cindy Murdoch, you're not usually on this side.
No.
I don't probably know what to think. Usually on the other side.
Over here.
But you're over here. But it's always so great traveling this life's journey with the best friend who's been around for so many years, and we've heard so many great stories.
We've heard great stories, and I think in all of them, Joni, we see that nothing can separate us from the love of God.
Yeah,
that's just what I keep hearing.
Yeah, and the word that keeps coming to me right now is the word qualified. Like, you feel disqualified, but God is saying, no, I'm the one who qualifies. Okay, and so don't let the enemy tell you that you've been disqualified, because you haven't. Okay, that's a lie. And we're going to talk about that. Will and Dehavilland Ford are at the table. Now, usually you're lady of the table.
Yes, I'm on that end normally, so it's nice to see all of your beautiful faces from this angle.
But a lot of the people that watch Table Talk said, we want to hear some of the ladies' stories. So we couldn't have your story and not have your handsome husband on with you, Will.
He's very handsome.
Yeah, yeah. So, in fact, he's been a guest before, and you've been a guest before, but this is kind of you guys' story, and so I'm excited about that. Welcome. So, can God take our broken pieces and build something beautiful? The answer is yes. Will and Dehavilland Ford know this firsthand. Despite struggles and setbacks, God would teach them what's truly possible when we live a, get this word, surrendered life. You know, that's when you say, okay, God, I want to do it your way. And here's my life, Lord. I want to follow you. I want you to come into my heart and life and change my life. And I want to follow the purpose and plan that you have for my life. That's what a real surrendered life looks like. And if you haven't done that, I pray that you'll do that today. So, Will and Dehavilland, how long have you guys been married?
13 years.
13 years now. Feels like just yesterday, though, really.
Yeah.
13 years. So tell the audience, if you will, Dehavilland, a little bit about your testimony growing up. And we look at you today, you're married, you got kids, you've got a ministry, you go around and speak and teach, and God's using you in a great way. Surely you haven't gone through anything.
Oh, my goodness. That is so far from the truth. You know, I love this quote I heard. We should never put a period where God puts a comma. You know, I thought God was done with me. I was born in 1978 during the drug wave that hit New York City. And my parents, my birth parents, fell prey to that drug wave. And unfortunately, crack and cocaine was really decimating the inner cities and really America at that time in the 70s. Yeah. We had just come, you know, through a time period, people were looking for jobs. And my parents, they started using drugs. And I was born into that. I would say I was born in crisis. And I remember 4 or 5 hearing stories of there being so much drugs in the home. And at the age of 4, I was taken out of my home. Sometimes I get timelines mixed up, but I was taken from my home because of the effects of drugs. My mom, when she had me, she named me Angela Cornish. That was the name that my mother gave me. And then when I went into my first foster home, which is the Rock family, I've shared that before, Chris Rock, comedian in Hollywood, I went from Angela Cornish to being called Angela Rock.
So this was part of his relatives?
This part of his mom. His mom brought us in.
Okay.
Me and my siblings, we lived with the Rock family. And so I was adopted at 7, and my name was changed from Angela Cornish to Dehavilland Brown. That was the name that my adopted mom gave me.
Dehavilland.
Yes, a very unique name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only
Beautiful
a few
name.
people in the country. Olivia de Havilland, famous actress. It's a warplane, fine china in France. Thank you, God. But I was given that name, and for the longest time, I had a massive identity crisis because I was shouting with somebody, please tell me, who am I? Like, who am I? Am I Angela? Am I de Havilland? And so this led me on a path of, you know, party scenes and different relationships. Long story short, that did not work. I found myself on a park bench at 17 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your adopted family like?
Yes. Well, my adopted mom, she worked with AIDS patients in New York. So I didn't grow up in a where there was poverty.
Right.
It was more emotional abuse and spiritual abuse, and a lot of physical abuse because that's all she's seen.
Can you share one of those stories that stands out in your mind?
I was a little girl, and she wanted everything to be a certain way. And I remember one night I was like, I'm not going to do that. So she took paper and cheese, and she said, you're going to sit on this paper and cheese all night until the mice, little mice, began to crawl on me, little girl. And this is where the spirit of torment and torture, because if you move, you're gonna get hit. And so for years and years, I had a fear of mice. I had a fear of any kind of rodents.
Oh my word.
But yeah, and so I just started to live by fear because it wasn't just physical, it was these emotional and psychological abuse.
What, did you just not clean your room up or
yeah,
something?
I don't even remember what it was, but that memory stuck in my mind. That was just one of the most traumatizing things you can put a kid through.
And how old were you at that point?
I had to be like 8 or 9. And but it would be things like that. She used that kind of abuse to get, and it just made it worse. And I ended up rebelling even more after that experience.
Wow. Did you run away from home?
So I ran away from home, and I found myself on this park bench late at night. Just, again, why was I born? Like,
and
what's
this had
the
to be
purpose?
Dangerous, right?
Very dangerous.
You're in New York.
Was in New York City. And really just feeling like it's okay to die. But God had another plan.
Yeah.
He said, this is not who you are. And on that bench, something powerful happened.
What happened?
Well, there was a friend of my sister's who was a praying mama. She went to David Ireland's church in Montclair, and she ended up coming and saying, you're gonna come home with me. This is not who you are. And she didn't just say it like, it was more of a command. You are coming. There's something about when a mama speaks, but when a black mama speaks, like, you are coming home with me.
Right.
And
it's like your spirit was crying out for that.
My spirit was crying out.
Even though your flesh was like, I'm going to rebel. But your spirit was like,
my spirit, it was like if you give someone in a desert a cup of water, I didn't even realize how thirsty I was. And I remember going home with her. And she's, you know, she's like playing Ron Canoli, and she's anointed the walls with Crisco oil, not anointing oil. So I'm like, I'm just like, where am I? Why is there oil on this lady's walls? But she had been praying. She had been crying out and praying for me. And she ended up discipling me. She ended up actually leading me to the Lord in 1997.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So how old were you at that point?
At this point, I'm about 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, was the trajectory more up?
Everything shifted.
Wow.
It was
when
one
you
of those,
surrendered your life to the Lord.
Immediately. When I surrendered my life to the Lord, it was like dark light. There was no middle ground. There was no going back because I was so far gone to now know there's a God who loves me, who my life wasn't a mistake. So I ended up going all in. I'm going to every revival meeting you could think of.
There's a really neat story of how the Lord kind of revealed your identity to you after this.
Yes.
Share that.
Yeah, so because I had such an identity crisis with my name, one time the Lord asked me a question. He said, Dehavilland, who do you think named you? And I said, well, God, you're not schizophrenic. You already know. And he goes, yeah, but I need you to know. I know, but I need you to know. And he began to take me on this journey. Later, I was serving at the House of Prayer, and I met a pilot, and he said, Dehavilland, you're the first Dehavilland I've met. He said, do you know how you got your name? And I said, I was adopted. He said, no, let me tell you the story of your name. He said, during World War II, there were these bomber planes that were made called the de Havilland bombers. But when they went to make the plane, the Defense Department did not believe in its design. So instead of giving metal to make the planes, like other planes, they gave wood. They just gave wood. But these planes, because of the wood, they became some of the fastest planes in World War II. They took out Hitler's, you know, he would be building his camps. And he said these planes survived the war. They were very successful in the war. And he's telling me this, and the Lord is, all of my spiritual discernment's like, oh, so my life is not a mistake. I was saved through the wood of the cross. And God's called me to fly with him and drop intercession in my bombs of intercession. And that's when I became an intercessor for America, when I realized that God had a better purpose for me, that my name was not an accident. And can I just share with the mice, after that I ended up going to Mozambique to work with Heidi Baker.
I don't really like mice either.
Yeah, I hate them, but imagine having to sit with them. I was in Mozambique in the 2003, and I was serving with Heidi Baker there, and a rat came in my thing, and I can hear them in the halls, and the Lord said, this is where I'm gonna heal you from what you went through when you were little. All the way in Africa, in Mozambique, God healed me of that, and now I'm still a little afraid of mice, but it's not through trauma, it's just through humans just not liking rodents.
That's amazing. So you're really on this life's journey of ministry and just really delving into the things of God, and God's doing amazing things, and you're coming together with other great men and women of God. You're learning, but you're not married.
Not married.
So, but there is a guy sitting next to you right now. So let's bring him into the picture. Will, just give us a little thumbnail of you growing up.
Grew up Fort Worth, Texas. Parents, great parents. They split when I was about 9 years old. Kind of set me on this trajectory of always trying to get back in my father's good graces. So I jumped through every single hoop. But really what it did was it made me a performer. I was this person who would do whatever I needed to do to be the person I needed to be in front of people with a lot of authority. So finally I go to Morehouse College, I get the right degree, banking and finance major. We're gonna go in business with my dad. And when I showed up there, I had a huge hole in my heart. I realized I made my father an idol. I made authority of the people an idol, and I realized I was just a performer, and I didn't know who I was. But then I heard the message of grace. I heard that Jesus loved me. God loved me, not based on anything that I'd done, but because of who he is. And I realized that his performance on the cross is what validated me.
How did God fill the hole that was in your heart?
Well, the unconditional love that came from that, because I realized that God loved me, not based on anything that I'd done or not done. It was based on his love. In other words, I realized that when Jesus died on the cross, he was basically saying, I love you so much, I'd rather die than spend eternity without you. And that changed everything for me. I realized the grace of God, the love of God, and that's what changed me.
I know that you went through a divorce. That can be a touchy subject, but I just know that there are 50% of the people watching have gone through a divorce, or you know someone who has. And that was not something that you wanted, or did you ever believe would happen in your life?
I mean, nobody gets married thinking they're going to get divorced. I was married to somebody for 18 years, and I had an amazing wife, honestly. But I feel like I probably won't know everything that happened to bring that about. But I do know this. I got into ministry, and I got to a place in ministry where my father got sick, and he was one of my best friends at that time period. And I always had this fear of my father dying. So when he got diagnosed with cancer, I hit the road. I started chasing hand claps in ministry. I just took on as many engagements as I could. And I felt like the whole time the devil was ministering to my wife at that time period. And suffice to say, ministry makes a horrible mistress. It does. And I feel like that's what my contribution to the ending of that was just me just on the road too much with a wife and 2 kids. And we grew apart without me realizing it. And so, and she filed, and it was an ugly situation.
You wanted to keep the marriage together.
I wanted to keep the marriage together.
She didn't want you to be in ministry.
What happened is we had 2 different visions going on. and which brought division.
Yeah.
And if we had a business together, and we also I had the ministry, I probably could have done a better job of including her more in my world of ministry, and that didn't happen. So we grew apart.
And she filed for divorce.
She filed 2 kids, and it was devastating. It was devastating. I was actually moving into the height of where I was in ministry. I was getting calls from big name folks like Promise Keepers. I just had to not take the engagements because of what I was going through.
So did you think that your ministry was over when you went through a divorce?
I thought I was done in a sense, but honestly, a lot of the folks who were around me stayed with me. Thankfully, all the people I was in a relationship with helped me walk through that time period, knew my, whatever, character, integrity. I stayed very vulnerable, honest with them, and they did a good job of helping me walk through that. I actually went through more mess after we got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
After Dehavilland got married.
And I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So you can tell that it's hard. That was probably one of the most painful things he's ever gone through.
Oh, absolutely. He really did do everything he could to save his marriage.
I stayed single like 2 years after that. And, yeah.
For you, being a single young lady, there were a lot of voices out there. And because he had been divorced, this is like a huge issue that the body of Christ wants to argue about. It's so interesting to me just to see people's reactions, especially people who have no understanding of the pain that you went through or the mistakes you made or she made or whatever.
Right.
But whatever caused this divorce, we know God hates divorce, but it happened.
Yep.
So here you're single for 2 years and you meet this young man.
Yes, well, I've always knew who Wilford was. I always knew he was, always respected his ministry. And I just remember in 2010, I was starting a ministry myself called 818 The Sign. And I was looking to bring in different leaders from around the country, Bishop Jackson, and everyone kept saying, you've got to have Wilford on your board. He's amazing. And, I said, well, I've seen him speak before of the cast iron kettle pot.
But you're not thinking anything.
No, absolutely not. It wasn't even a thought in my head. And I knew that he went through a painful divorce because every time I tried to Google him, he quit. He shut down ministry. He actually got a job at a bank. And so no one knew where he was or how you can find him.
Wow.
And I said, I've got to get a hold of him. And long story short, I finally did. And he agreed to come to the conference. And when he came, I just remember thinking, because he was completely disconnected, so he's really kind of shut off. But as I'm just talking to him, I realized there's so much substance here. There's such a beautiful man of God. But again, still not thinking I would be the one.
Right.
So it took at least, I want to say, a year before I really started seeing
Wait, now
him.
who thought something first, Dehavilland or Will? Be honest.
Well,
now.
I know we're big on dreams. I actually had a dream. So if I can bring that language into this.
Just get spiritual in it.
Yeah, I'll get spiritual. I had a dream, and in the dream, I owned.
I have a dream.
I had it before Dr. King when it came to him. I had it first. I owned everything he had. I possessed his wallet, and in the dream, everything that was his was mine.
Yeah.
And I was carrying him back into whatever he was supposed to be doing, and I thought that was an odd dream. Wilford, why am I carrying him? I shared it with some of my spiritual covering, and they said, well, I wonder if there's something more here. And
being a helpmate.
If there's a helpmate thing. But again, he was very, just in his own place.
Yeah.
But then I just said, okay, Lord, and I prayed and I didn't say anything about it. I never said, hey, I'm your wife. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I just waited.
But you started kind of thinking along those lines because the Lord kind of awakened something.
And yes, he was so handsome too. I can't leave that out.
Yeah,
but
right. Oh,
there it is.
Okay, so
Ready for that.
when did you finally get on board with this?
So for me, I was, like she said, in banking. I quit doing ministry, went into banking and finance degree, so I just put it to work. And while I'm at this bank waiting for waiting on the next angry customer every Tuesday, they come into the banks, overdraft fees show up, not on Monday, but on Tuesdays. So people were in there asking me, can you reverse this overdraft fee? And while I'm going to the next angry customer, I had an open vision, never had one before, and I see Dehavilland in a wedding dress. And I go, what?
Wow.
And then I closed my eyes, realized my eyes were open. I was like, oh, so I avoided her for a month, which was easy, because I was in Fort Worth. She was at, in Kansas City at the International House of Prayer.
Yeah.
So that was easy.
Okay, so you saw the wedding dress.
Yes.
You carrying all his stuff.
You had his
When
wallet.
did y'all finally talk about this?
So a mutual friend invited us to this roundtable discussion, and we wound up sitting right next to each other.
Yeah, we wind up sitting, and then we ended up Skyping. We did a Skype call.
Yeah, to talk about 818 The Sign.
818 The Sign, but we ended up Skyping for 18 hours.
18
hours. And by the end of the Skype call...
I burned up my phone charger.
We just talked and
That was
talked.
not a ministry
This was not a ministry. This was a life.
We talked and talked and talked. I mean, it was like being in high school, you had the phone.
You still
and
there, girl?
You still there?
Yeah.
You hang up. No, you hang up. You hang up. No, you hang up.
I had calls like that, too. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's coming out at the table
It's
today.
kind of weird. It's kind of weird after all these years, and you think, okay.
You wake up in the morning, they're still on the phone.
They're still on the phone. You still there?
Okay, so you feel like the Lord just kind of brought you together.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if the Lord brings you together to some in the body of Christ. They just want to judge and feel like they know your story and your story. And
Yeah, we try to do, so once we knew, we felt there was more than just friendship, and we submitted it to the leaders that, leaders are subject, you need to be submitted.
Yeah,
so we brought it to
and
our spiritual parents, and everyone was very excited and all on board, and this is your redemption story.
The one person around them had a teaching about divorce and remarriage where as long as the other person is still alive, neither party could remarry.
Yeah.
And so that changed the tune to some of the very same people who endorsed us.
But that was after we got married.
So we get married, and then all of a sudden, ministry doors that were once open, those shut.
so you'd gone through all of that hurt and pain.
Gone through all that hurt and pain.
And then actually gotten out of ministry, and now you're back in ministry. You married the love of your life.
Yes.
And then all the doors start closing again.
You didn't even want to get divorced.
No, right. You're right. I was basically like they call the innocent party or whatever in terms of not wanting that to happen. But the thing is, honestly, I think it's a legalistic kind of teaching that's out there that says as long as the other person is still alive, you can never remarry, and these types of things. And it's very legalistic. It's very painful. I've actually had to counsel people.
It's very pharisaical.
It is. It's a painful thing to hold your wife for the first 3 months of your marriage every night when she's crying herself to sleep because people are saying, like, you committed adultery on your wedding night.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. So dealing with that. But we got through it. It took 5-6 years. All the people involved in that
changed.
They all came back and repented. But it took 4 or 5 years. And we walked through that. And also we got a chance to minister to people who had been on the other side of that kind of pain from being divorced in the church. I believe, honestly, one of the largest unreached people groups in the church are divorced people.
Yeah, for sure. And my husband went to be with Jesus, and we were married almost 40 years. We were together 42 years. And there's the product right there, sitting over there. That's a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
But then, I went through the grieving process, and the Lord brought a wonderful man into my life who was divorced. And I had no idea, even though Jimmy Evans walked with us through that process and talked about abandonment.
Yes. The 4 ways,
adultery, addiction, and abuse.
Right.
Which there was no adultery, but there was abandonment. And he walked him through that process to see, if he felt that it was legitimate, and years 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 of trying to make something work.
Right.
So, but people don't know all the intricacies to that story. And so people like you're talking about that don't know you, that don't know the story, that don't know your heart, because there's no way that they could know Will Ford or Dehavilland's heart. Only God knew that. But they still judge based on what you said, those scriptures. And then we have people that are suffering, that are living in, which I'm all for marriage. And any way we can save the marriage, God hates divorce, I know that, and I'm gonna stand for marriage forever.
Right.
But when there's extreme situations where people are suffering, it's not like God just puts a stamp on, like, nope, you gotta stay,
Right.
I mean, and so you guys had to walk, you encouraged me, in fact, when I was going through some of that with people saying really ugly things. And, at the end of the day, you have to do what you feel like God is leading you to do. And you have to be obedient to him. And you can't worry about people that don't know your story.
That's exactly
and so
right.
what would you say to divorced people?
God loves you, and he still has an amazing plan for your life. You know, divorce does not define who you are. And it doesn't define God's purpose, God's plan for your life. He's able to take all this mess that's going on in your life. He's concerned about your children. He's concerned about you, your purpose, your destiny. And this mishap, this divorce, doesn't define who you are right now. And you still have a plan. God still have a purpose. He still has a destiny for your life. If you'll surrender to him all that you're walking through right now. I don't care if you're whether your ministry or your business or just a housewife or whatever, okay, where you are, in terms of your career, God is not done with you right now. And you need to know that. And
divorce is not an unforgivable sin.
Yes.
Let's just say you made a mistake. Let's just say you should have tried harder. You should have. I'm just saying that the church, so many people in the church are making it an unforgivable sin.
Yep.
And saying very hurtful things.
Yes.
Would you speak to those people as well, Dehavilland?
Yeah, absolutely. God is not done with your life. And if you'll just even reach out, some of you, I just feel like you just need to forgive yourself.
Perfect.
Maybe you said you'll even vows you made in your heart, and God is trying to heal you and bring you into something special. I just want to pray God is able to take the mess and make it a masterpiece like us. And if you just hold on to people that can speak life into you, people that will love you through this season, you're going to get on the other side of this. You're going to get on it, and you're going to be better for it, and you're going to be able to minister to people that are feeling maybe how you're feeling right now. So just remember, God is not done with you.
I know you told me you have a compassion for people that have gone through divorce like no other, like really you could have never imagined.
Yeah, especially women, because I was told I would never preach again. Can you imagine, like all my 20s, 30s, giving it to the Lord to say you'll never be a voice? And I just want to say, whatever someone said, you're never going to do this or you're never going to do that, no one can define you. No one can write you off, because look at the woman who was in adultery. Right. Even Jesus handled her with compassion. He said, don't sin no more, but Jesus himself spoke destiny. And so I just want to speak life over you right now. Yes. I want to pray that even this today would be a turning around for you. This would be a coming out of shame and depression or whatever it is, and knowing that God is able to redeem your life.
Amen. Yep. So married now, how many years?
13 years.
How many kids?
We have two kids. And
the two older, the younger. They all
get along. We're all family. We have a great time together.
God's opening doors and
and maybe more on the way. You know,
come on.
Okay.
We actually, Rachel's on the way.
I want to say to the one thing to the person who's, you didn't do anything wrong, but somebody walked away from you, marriage, and you're trying to over and over again trying to prove yourself. Listen, God doesn't. You're not defined by the things that you haven't done. You're defined by the things that you overcome.
Yeah, so good.
You're going to overcome this if you'll surrender, trying to make it all fixed and make it all work. Just release that. Release yourself, release the Lord.
All right, that's a good word. Well, we are out of time. Don't you enjoy hearing these stories? I love hearing the personal story of Dehavilland. She sits here at the table with me, and she's such a blessing. And, of course, her handsome hubby was here as well. Before we go, I want you to know that it doesn't matter what's happened in your past or where your life started. God is the one who qualifies you for the purpose that he has designed for your life. And as you surrender totally to his will, he will use you to touch lives in ways that no one else can. So if you're watching today and you want to say yes to God's will for your life, or if you're watching today and you've gone through a divorce and you know your story, it doesn't even matter what that story is. The Lord knows your story. Yep. But I just want to tell you there is purpose beyond it. And God isn't through with you. That's why that prayer line number is on the screen. We'd love for you to call. We'd love to pray with you today. If you prayed that prayer, invited Jesus into your heart today, call us. We'd love to send you a free book entitled Now What? I do want to thank Will and Dehavilland for sharing their powerful story with us. To find out more about their incredible ministry, you can visit them online at 818thesign.org. And if today's Table Talk touched your life, we want to hear from you. So be sure to leave us a comment on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys for sharing. What a blessing you are. Thank you, ladies. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for today.